Good morning everyone, and stocks made new highs yet again in the US, and the Australian market is struggling to follow higher with them, and yet we're still in pretty much all of Southeast Australia is locked down now. Zero economic growth, in fact spiralling down economic growth, but everyone still believes in a strong economic recovery. I've gone over that before, why I just don't think that's happening. Currently forecasting, now declared it, it's going to be a recession for Australia, Q3, Q4. Lockdowns will go on longer or in a modified fashion in a way that still greatly hampers economic growth. Disney recorded that its theme parks are back in profit, and I guess that's a big green light for the entire world to be happy again. But Disney is actually a very strong stock and always one of my favorites. As long as we don't get a broad market savage downturn, Disney will continue to perform well, and in a way, probably from Disney, we ain't seen nothing yet. So that outlook is positive in a generally stable market. Can equities continue to do this? Well, they've been doing it for some time, and it looks like they will. I still think when we're seeing the weakness in the euro, the Aussie, and even in the sterling, which was holding up reasonably well. UK had 4.8% GDP in the second quarter, which was quite a good number, but sterling couldn't hold up because basically that US dollar is getting strong on panic buying, if you like, I think, from the rest of the world, moving funds towards Europe, towards the US and US stocks to create a positive looking market there, but really it's still a fear trade from the rest of the world based on COVID Delta surge spreading around. The outlook for the Aussie dollar, I've gone over that in detail. There's a clip on the website from AusBiz yesterday talking about how the Australian dollar is going to be following the Australian economy into recession. Still looking for 70 cents in the Australian dollar, perhaps 68.50. There is a bit of support around 72.20, 72.40, which may hold up, but I think you've got to accept the pressure is very much to the downside. The currency is reflecting what's happening to the Australian economy far more accurately at the moment than the Australian stock market. So respect the price action, stay bullish with the stock market, but the moment it starts to turn, it's going to be a big crash. I really do think that Australia's in a recession now. There's no way out of it. We're not going to escape it, and it's unavoidable. The world has enough sofas in its lounge room. We're not going to get that sharp boom again. Markets, sell Aussie, sell sterling, sell euro. Sterling Aussie, a little bit of correction here, but I still think buy sterling Aussie. Sterling gold, sorry, Aussie gold, buy Aussie gold. Gold is held up very well relative to other commodities at the moment. I still really do like the idea that eventually, but I'm obviously too early, but eventually the idea of safe haven buying for the rest of the world as it experiences this massive Delta surge. And remember what happened in the second surge of Spanish flu. It was absolutely much worse than the first wave, and I think that's what the world is currently experiencing at the moment with Delta and Lambda. So Lambda is yet to really take off around the world, but there are cases in the US now, so that is something to watch out. Apparently it's more resistant to vaccines, hopefully not, but there's some indication of that. So I do think this whole global safe haven buying pushing towards the US as the ultimate lifeboat, if you like, given that they have high vaccinations rate and this global belief that high vaccination rates are safe, that the US is a safe haven always in times of crisis, that is really dominating a lot of investors around the world, particularly in parts of the world that are really being savaged on a human level by this Delta surge. They're just thinking this is all too hard, this is really scary stuff, I'm going to put my money in the US, and if I'm going to put my money in the US, where am I going to put it? I'm obviously going to put it in stocks. Hence, even New York fund managers are wondering why their selling hasn't been working. It's just a wall of money coming in from the rest of the world, with capital inflow to the US suddenly back up at 1992 levels. The outlook then is at some point all of that buying will stop, and then there'll be a world that's fully long US stocks that will begin to unwind that. So there is danger still ahead. I know I've been warning of that too early. We have had some big corrections. Oil, massive sell, because as the Australian dollar is really indicating the Australian economy more accurately than Australian stocks, oil is going to indicate the global economy far more accurately than the US stock market is. Thanks very much. Clifford Bennett, Chief Economist, ACY Securities.